Now from Atlanta News First Plus, this is Sports Tonight.
Welcome into Sports Tonight. Sports Director Bailey Burmaster here. We have a lot of good stuff and video for you tonight, so I'm a little solo, but we have a lot we're going to get to. We talked to former Falcon Ray Buchanan. He's talking about the '98 team. They're going to be honored during Sunday's game against the Bucs, which is obviously a big game in the NFC South for the Falcons because they need to win that one with the division. I mean, they're sitting atop, but the Bucs are just a game behind, so it's a big one with a lot of implications. We're also going to hear from Michael Harris. We got to talk to the Braves player about this charity he's been putting together, so we'll get into that. But our Emily Gagnon, she actually started talking to Ray Buchanan earlier this week about everything that was going on. So let's tune into that interview with Ray.
This Sunday, at halftime, being honored after 25 years, it's one, for all of us to get together is going to be amazing. Two, for the fans to be able to enjoy it because they were a part of it. The fan base is, we just didn't play for ourselves and our family. I think they were a big part of what we did. And I think for us to be able to get together and not see each other for that long and get a chance to, chop it up, it's going to be one of the best feelings probably that we've probably had in a long time.
So I guess, what do you remember most about that season? What sticks out to you?
Well, I mean, what I remember most about that season that sticks out more importantly is the runs that we were going on. We were, a lot of people, we didn't think that we can beat the teams that we were supposed to beat the way we actually felt, and we didn't get the respect, but we were taking respect. I think leading all the way up to the NFC Championship, to where everybody felt that we wasn't going to win against, being a big-time underdog against, the Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Rod Smith, Randall Cunningham, all these big dogs, and and not only that, playing up against the media too. I think Dan Reeves did a real good job of telling us to just shut off the media. I don't want y'all even listening to it. Believe what you've been believing in. Do what you've been doing. Let's not switch up. We're going to go in here and go take respect, So if you want some respect or you want some respect, go take each letter, each quarter, game by game, play by play, and do the best that you actually can and not switch it up.
Oh, and y'all did take respect. That's
Yeah, we did.
So I guess, what's your best memory from the Super Bowl?
Best memory, besides the dog collar, a lot of people was talking about the dog collar. We were big time underdogs, so that's why I put the dog collar on. I was mad that we were like underdogs. I'm like, wait a minute, we just finished beat Minnesota. Y'all still got us underdogs. But what I can actually take from the Super Bowl in itself was, one, the energy from it. I never felt, I played in some big games before. I played in some very loud stadiums. But I think that particular game, when you having so many people from the South and Atlanta for the first time, so many people rooting for us because they already got a ring. Denver won one the year before. And to see an underdog team like us, we had so many people coming to root for us from all different type of, cities. It was that type of energy. And stepping on that football field and representing Atlanta meant a lot. I think that was probably, for me, the biggest moment that I actually got besides playing in the game.
Okay. So where did the Dirty Bird come from? How did
That's funny. Where did the Dirty Bird come from? To be honest with you, a lot of people thought that it was Jamal Anderson, because he scored the most and was able to eventually perfect it, as the year started to go along. But O.J. Santiago was the one who invented it, who actually came up with it. Now, it did look like a broken crow when O.J. was doing it, but O.J. had it going, but he didn't score as much. So Jamal did get in the end zone, and Jamal ended up, rocking with it. Then he's turning with it, and next thing you know, the fans start getting along with it and doing it. And you had players having their own version of the. I had my own version, but it never did stick. I'm out there doing, like Morris Day in the Time, dance. You had Terrence Mathis doing his dance. So what it did though, not only it related with the fans, because you saw the fans getting involved, and then next you're hearing the name Dirty Bird. They're getting T-shirts, Dirty Bird, and then after that, you think about it, it was more or less for the players. Players wanted to make plays, all because they wanted their opportunity to do it. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want to feel like left out. Not everybody could dance. Now, don't get me wrong. You did see some cats on our team that could only two-step, but we had some characters that was fun to play with. We had guys that wanted to do the Dirty Bird, and I think it stuck. That Dirty Bird, because we played dirty. We played dirty under the rules. We played physical. And we were snatching hearts, and that was the type of team that we actually had. So the Dirty Bird just came along with it and gave us something to do with the fans.
And I guess that leads me to my next question. So, what are you going to remember most about the Georgia Dome? Now, of course, we've got this wonderful building, but
it's kind of hard to remember anything from the Georgia Dome besides the winning atmosphere, looking up and seeing the white bubble. I can say that, and then having the packed house, inside the Georgia Dome. But when you see this spaceship over here, if I was playing in something like this, I don't want nobody complaining from the Falcons. I don't want this right here is luxury. So just to give you an example, this new stadium, Mercedes-Benz, is Beverly Hills. The Georgia Dome, that was Section 8. I'm just letting you know right now. Compared to if you want to compare the two, let's just be honest. But at the time, we had a buzz going on over there. We played dirty. We played hard. Not saying the Falcons, what they're doing now, they have the potential to do that. And I think that they can make it a clean dirty, Let's choose our words right. And so, but they still Dirty Birds, It's all indoctrination. Everybody just coming on down the line through the blood of what we've been doing and what the bar that was actually set back then, and what the team is capable of now. So to iron that out, it all starts from the top down. And that's how it's going to actually work. Guys got to start doing their job. They brought players in that believe. They believe that these are the players they're supposed to go out there and do their job. Now that they done did that, it's up to the players, man. When Dan Reeves brought us in and he said, okay, I brought in the right pieces. Let's go. Let's make this fit. Everybody do your role. Play your job. Let's not hate on each other. Let's not worry about money. Let's worry about making plays. That's what we did. Once we got out of that, in the future, we saw how everything get broken up. Times has changed. Money have changed. I wish I was playing back during this time. I would have made a lot more money than I'm playing now. But, let it be told, I think that both stadiums and the remembrance of the Georgia Dome will always be remembered for where the Dirty Bird first started.
Okay. So I guess that leads me to the next question. What do you think about this year's team? What do you think about what the franchise is now, and especially like this year's team under Arthur Smith?
Arthur been having, the media, man, the media's going to be the media. And I'm pretty sure Arthur not listening to it, because Arthur know what he brought in here. He brought in the right coaches that he brought in the right players. And when you bring in the right players, you want to make your coach look good, go do your job. I think that each player, have the opportunity to do that. And sometimes certain players don't fit in certain offenses. So you grabbing certain pieces and everybody moving around to sort of make it work, getting the ball into everybody's hands where they can actually have fun. That's going to come down to the offensive coordinators and how they can actually make that happen. On the defensive side of the ball, it's like, for me, I always did my best when the front seven was doing their job. The more the front seven balled out, the more I heightened my game. I can gamble a little bit more. I can take more chances. But if you're not getting to the quarterback, I'm going to have to protect myself a little bit more, and we just got to stay over the top. So guys just got to play smart. Right now, they still on top of the division. You got Tampa coming in here this upcoming week. If Tampa coming in here to try to knock you out, you got to hold the fort down and not let Tampa and hold Tampa off. Game by game, week by week, that's how you start, chipping away at the right time. It's a momentum game. And literally, if they can just finish out, I've seen plenty of teams win their division at a low record and all of a sudden start gelling at the right time and can get somewhere down the road. but you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Turnovers will always kill you when you're not playing well, and literally when you're trying your best as a player to do your job, I think that finger pointing can actually start killing you. And I think that if they can just hold everything in and block out the outside noise, and they're paying you lots of money already, just worry about playing the game. Don't even think about money. Play the game that you love, and I think that everything will start gelling.
Well, okay, so put your GM hat on then.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the player that you would choose from this upcoming draft for this team?
Ooh, very good question. When you see right now, picks, picks, excuse me, Washington picks. There's Caleb Williams. You got a lot of different quarterbacks that's out there, and that's kind of hard for me to sit up here and say, but especially after we just finished taking the quarterback, kind of early on. But I always felt, to be honest with you, as much as I would love another skill guy, I always think that you need to build, you build from the meat, the interior. So when you talk about offensive linemen, defensive linemen, pass rushers, guys that make a difference, it make it that much more easier on your skill guys. I don't care who your skill guys are if you got meat up front. I've always believed in that, and every once in a while, a couple stars here or there. So I can't really pick a player, excuse me, from Washington. I'm not going to continue to, throw it overboard, but I think that if I was a GM, I would build from the interior in.
Okay. All right. So you being DB, what do you think about Jesse Bates? His season so far, he got 5 picks. I think a couple of pick sixes.
Been there, done that. I think Jesse Bates is playing some of his best football. He's in the zone right now, and I like the way that he's disguising his coverages. I look at safety because I played the position before. A lot of people don't know that I played safety in the pros before I even played corner. He does a great job of knowing where he's at, where he's supposed to be, and not only that, he baits quarterbacks into some terrible throw. I mean, literally, they don't see him, and he's actually there, and he's coming, and he's snagging. He's taking advantage of his opportunities too. Once he gets his hands on the ball, it's been impactful plays. If you score, that's a bonus. So now it's like, when things are going right, and then you start finding a rhythm as a corner or as a safety, and those picks start coming, it's kind of hard to stay. It just started getting contagious. I'm just hoping it'll get contagious for everybody else to start making as many plays as he's doing. So he's having an outstanding year. He's baiting quarterbacks left and right, and he's making plays. And I know, I'm going to be honest with you, my son told me more about him before he even got here when he was with the Bengals, saying this is a bad dude. And I'm like, all right, I've seen some of their games because, I coach a lot of these guys, but I would like to see him, in this system and see what he can actually do. And he's showing up. I'm like, man, he got that 3. Man, he almost playing like 34. He used to play out there. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me, I said that out of love. But he playing like how I used to play. I'm like, when you get the ball and you trying to score or you trying to hit somebody, you talking smack, you playing, he's not playing arrogantly, he's playing confidently. He knows how to study and he knows how to go out there and perform. And when you see guys acting off like that and playing like that, it's supposed to be contagious. So everybody want to go make a play. And I'm hoping they still got time. And I'm hoping they start doing that as a defense and get healthier too, get guys out there, the main players out there on the field.
Well, then I guess out of the 32 teams this year, who do you got for the Super Bowl? Who do you think?
Well, it's getting up there. The way teams are playing, it's all about momentum. On the AFC side of the ball, you look at Miami, you look at the Ravens, you look at Kansas City. That's on the AFC side. Then on the NFC side, you see the 49ers right now. You see the Eagles and the Cowboys. And then Detroit out of nowhere, Detroit. That's how I felt. It felt like the '98 season is like how Detroit is playing, and so everybody got to watch out for them. But if I was to pick the 2, the most consistent 2, if I had 2 to put into the Super Bowl right now, I'll be honest with you. I can't get away from KC. I just can't, And I really want to put the Ravens there because whenever you control the line of scrimmage the way they do and just keep you off guard, running the football, playing great defense. That was win championships. Um, and then on the opposite side of the ball, I got to say the 49ers, the way they're playing. I think the Cowboys showed too much inconsistency in the beginning of the year. And now they're starting to find themselves just a little bit more. And the Eagles just showed the vulnerability of what it was like to actually have Brock Purdy with him in the game for the 49ers and with a healthy Purdy. And the Eagles didn't win that game. And they won, and the 49ers won convincingly. I mean, literally beat them to a pulp. And so I think they might have a chance to prove themselves again, but right now I'm looking at the 49ers in KC, and I got to slash in the Ravens if I could, but I can't.
Okay. And if you still had the chance to play, what offense would you like to go against mostly in today's NFL?
What offense I would like to go against?
You're playing against today.
If I was playing right now, I would love to play against the Panthers. I play for interceptions wise. I would love to play against them. Now, what team would I like to play for? Okay. Again. So I would like to play against the top dogs. I've always been a guy that wanted to play. You know, even though I like playing against teams that's a little bit more lenient and giving me the picks because I loved interceptions. It was just something that, well, 47 interceptions is a lot throughout my career, but I think I took on the more of the drive of going against the top receivers. So if I had the opportunity to go against, you know, Stephon Diggs, if I had the opportunity, Jamar Chase, if I had the opportunity to, you know, to go up against these young goats, these guys that's going to be Hall of Famers, Jeffersons, it's, you know, that's the way my era was, and that's what they hired me for, was to line up and match up and follow guys like that. And I've followed a lot of Hall of Famers, but I see a lot of future Hall of Famers in today's game. And I can't just pick one team because there's a lot of good receivers that's out there. But guess what? Ray Buchanan would have never shied down from none of them. They would have made some plays, but I would have got mine. It's about winning your fair share of your plays.
So let me take it back a little bit then. So who was the hardest offensive player you had to face as a player?
Isaac Bruce. You know, even though I had to match up against Jerry Rice, I had to match up against T.O., match up against Randy Moss. I mean, the list can go on with a lot of guys, but Isaac Bruce was slippery. He was fast. He had great hands. He was great route running, and they hid him away from me a lot of the time. They put him in motion. I couldn't get my hands on him, and they blocked up everybody. And with what the weapons that they actually had with Marshall Faulk, Terry Holt on the other side, they had a great tight end, and Kurt Warner was playing some of his best ball ever. And a lot of people don't know, me and Isaac's battles went back all the way back to college. When I played safety, he was in Memphis. But he was always one of that dude that sort of got me up and ready, and it was like, darn, you know, I can't wait to get out here. Even though I treated all of them the same, but he put up 180 on me one time, 200 and something plus, but mine's individual was 180. And I was like, whoa, I ain't never seen somebody ever, let alone almost get over 115 yards, let alone, 180 something yards. I was mad. So what happened was that year we played them, that year he put up them points, and I had just got here in 97. And then we played the Saints. I'm already thinking about playing them again. So we had played St. Louis. At that time it was St. Louis Rams. St. Louis, the Rams, then we played the Saints, and then we played St. Louis again. So I couldn't wait. I was already beating up on the Saints, couldn't wait to play him again for the next game. The next game that I did have an opportunity for him to play, I was so mad, so angry. I couldn't wait, and because my teammates was dogging me. Oh, you got burnt. I mean, they putting rotisserie chicken in my locker. They got like burnt bacon in my locker. I'm like, literally, they was so hard. I'm like, all right, y'all can tease me, but I'm gonna take it out on Isaac on the next time we play. And so literally that game that we actually ended up playing, I held him like the 3 catches, something like 18 yards. You know, he couldn't even get the ball to him. So I was that type of player that respected great players, and that's why I say playing the position is very tough. You got to have a short mind, But when you're out there, you got to also know that you got to get yours. And, you know, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. You just want to win your fair share of the battles.
Well, you mentioned Louisville. This is my last question. You mentioned Louisville in your playing days. What in the world is going on in college football right now? Florida State. Is
Right.
Florida State's got to be feeling some kind of way right now, right? I mean, that's
they feel bad.
I mean, could you imagine if you're a player and then you go undefeated and that happens?
It's not fair. It's almost like going the whole season and then it comes down to a field goal and the field goal kicker missed it and you don't get to advance. That's how those players actually felt because they've worked so hard during the off season. Everything led up to doing everything they were supposed to. Starting quarterback gets injured. Now, you know, they're sitting in a situation to where they got to play with the backup, and they beat Louisville with the backup quarterback. And I ain't gonna lie, this quarterback, I thought he was tough, that the backup for Florida State, and they still get booted out of the top 4. They're gonna find a way to still motivate themselves to try to move on from it because they have no other choice but to move on from it, but it wasn't fair. Louisville, on the other hand, since that's my alma mater, you know, me and Jeff Brom, we played together in college, and he was the quarterback during the time. But for them, my hat's off to Jeff, first of all, you know, for leaving Purdue and coming on his first year to get to the ACC championship. That's special. I mean, that's unheard of. So, yeah, it's been a little bit wacky and a lot of different things of people being upset about things. But you also got to be graceful and thankful for, you know, what you did bring, you know, to it. So I'm looking at Jeff. I feel so bad, but at the same time, it left a bad sting in my belly to lose to a backup quarterback. So I'm going to call Jeff. Matter of fact, Jeff, hold on, give me my phone. I'm going to text Jeff here, you know, real quick, really tell how I feel about that and, you know, hit him up. But I just told him to call me.
So who would be your top 4? Who would have made it?
Man, all right. So this is, you know, I think I have a heart for Florida State because I feel like they deserve to be in there. I can see why the committee didn't do it because they want everybody's best. They want everybody's, because this is a money thing that we're dealing with. So, of course, you know, Alabama getting in there, Texas getting in there, you know, Georgia not getting in there, only after losing 2 championships and losing 1 game. I'm like, really? That was like, but that was probably, out of all of it, they should have been in before anybody else, you know, had a little grace period because the game was still close. The game was a nail biter with Alabama. But Michigan, you know, Michigan, I've seen I wouldn't even put Michigan in there. Sorry, Jim, you my dog. I love you. But I wouldn't even put Michigan in there because what I've seen from Michigan every time they get the opportunity to get in there, I would have gave somebody else that opportunity. Booted, Michigan, Georgia, in. That's what I would have done. But, you know, that's just me speaking, and that's how my feelings are. Washington, oh my goodness, they better watch out. Right now, I'm honing in with binoculars. I got a pair of binoculars sitting right over there. I'm honing in on Washington right now to see if they can compete with the big dogs.
What a character. You had Ray Buchanan sitting there talking about the CFP and who he would have put in. He says Michigan would have been booted out. Georgia in. He's watching Washington. Shots fired at Michigan. He said every time that they go in there, he's not convinced about how they play in the CFP. So very, very interesting stuff. Have some sound we still want to get to. Had the opportunity to talk to Braves outfielder Michael Harris earlier this week about a foundation that's close to his heart. His mother is a former special needs education teacher. So he's had a longing to give back in that community for a long time. He has a bowling event actually tonight that starts at 7, and I'm gonna let him tell you all about it because what he's doing is really cool. We have some fun as well. Just for starters, how's the off season going?
It's been phenomenal. It's been a little busy, but I expected that coming into it, and I'm just working out now.
Talk to us about this nonprofit you have going on, obviously to help, you know, kids and teens with mental illness. Why is that a cause that's close to your heart?
Yeah, I wanted to be a vet growing up, so I wanted to incorporate doing something with animals. And my mom she's a special needs teacher, so I seen the way she educated them and cared for them and the impact that she has on them. So I kind of incorporated that, supplying pets for emotional support for people with mental health and kind of just doing that whole thing to give back.
What kind of pets did you have growing up? Did you have any?
The crazy thing is, no. The most I had was a fish, but I just recently got me a golden doodle, and I absolutely love it.
What's that experience being like now, being a little father to a pup?
At first it was a little frustrating. You're just peeing everywhere, pooping everywhere. They don't really know what to do. Can't really blame them, but I feel like it brings you a lot of joy once they finally figure it out, and you can teach some tricks and different commands.
What life lessons have you had from having a pet that maybe, these kids can learn as well as they, you're helping give them that opportunity with animals?
Yeah. For me, you definitely have to plan out in your schedule that they have to be accounted for too. You can't be out all day without remembering that they're at the house, probably tearing something up. So you got to feed them, and also they just bring a lot of love and a lot of joy.
How excited are you for this bowling event tomorrow?
I'm really excited. I'm ready to see who's gonna go up there and put up some high scores, and just ready to see everybody have fun.
I'm hearing you're actually a really good bowler. Is that true or false?
It depends on who you ask, but depends on the day as well. At times I can be good, I can be mediocre, I can be great, but depends on the day.
For tomorrow, what will it mean to just be able to interact with kids and be in the community?
It's huge. I always wanted to give back, so just being in having the platform I have and being able to do something like this just brings a lot of joy to myself, and I'm glad I'm able to do something for the community.
I'd be dismissed if I didn't ask, but what does it mean to see like a guy Wash get his opportunity with the Angels?
Yeah, that's huge for him. He definitely has the ability. We've seen that back in the day with the Rangers. He has the ability, and I don't know. He's definitely fit for it, and he's such a great guy. So he's definitely gonna be missed here, and wish him the best there.
Curveball for you. What's your spirit animal, since we're talking about animals?
I'll say a horse.
Why?
I don't know. I love horses. They're just beautiful. They can be fast, loving. I don't know. I always loved horses.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
Yes, I have.
Lee, you got anything?
I guess. So why bowling? Out of all the possible things you could have done, why bowling?
So we will end Michael Harris's interview there. Obviously, a great cause. It's always awesome to see athletes get back into the community. As we wrap up our sports tonight here, let's go into one thing that probably needs to be watched over this weekend, and that is Shohei Ohtani. There's been a lot of speculation of where he could end up. Some of those teams were the Dodgers, Toronto, Cubs. I mean, you name it, they were out there. There were reports by MLB Trade Rumors that he's most likely going to go to Toronto, but there's been nothing solidified, so that is something. But there is speculation that we should find out here in the next day or two, so maybe something to be aware of over the weekend. Of course, coming up next week, we're going to get ready for some bowl games. We have the high school football state championship games that will take place December 11th through the 13th. So we will have all of that on Atlanta News First as well. Obviously, we're going to keep previewing Georgia Tech's bowl and Georgia's, so we'll have people with boots on the ground there as well, so you'll want to tune in for all those reports. But that will do it for your Friday edition of Sports Tonight. Make sure to join us next week for all the latest sports headlines.